Welcome everybody, my name is Michael and today we're doing a quick, short, sweet video about CZ, Changpeng Cao. Right now the markets are doing a little bit of a loop-de-loop. We're getting under actually 40,000 for Bitcoin and a lot of people are freaking out. So might as well get some little fun news out there. CZ, the owner, the CEO of Binance, is supposedly worth $96 billion thanks to Bloomberg's calculations. Now, this takes into account that he owns 90% of Binance. And right now, comparing to other exchanges such as Coinbase, which with just a $4 billion profit for last year has been valued at $50 billion. Now, if we take a look at Binance, which is 5 times the profit, 5 times larger, $20 billion. It's safe to assume that just based off of the profit, I mean, you can't exactly compare apples to oranges, but they're pretty similar. You can safely assume that it's larger than Coinbase. And if CZ does actually own 90% of a multi-billion-dollar company, now, yes, thanks to Bitcoin, thanks to all of these cryptocurrencies, Binance did come out and say, hey, you know what, Bloomberg's completely wrong because all of cryptocurrencies are volatile. These are assets that are constantly changing in value, and that is way off. Now, they also said that back in November 2021, Chinese analysts estimated that CZ had 30% of the company. So we don't really know exactly how much he owns, but it's fair to say that he owns a fair share. So with 30%, last time Bitcoin was a little bit higher back in November. This was 3 months back. So with those estimates, the Chinese still put him at over $90 billion net worth with just 30% of the company. Now, these are constantly changing. There's no real way for all these billionaires. Even the ones on the Forbes 400, there's no accurate 100% foolproof way to know exactly how much someone is worth. Even just look at your own net worth with debts, with all the objects you have in your life. Some might be overpriced, especially with cryptocurrencies and NFTs. How do you exactly price them? We won't know exactly. However, if he is getting up to, $100 billion, he will pass that mark at one point or another in the future. Could be this year, could be next year, could be 10 years from now, but it is going to happen. Unless Binance suddenly disappears, which that's most likely not going to happen. It's basically the Amazon of the crypto exchange world. So CZ came out and he said, I do not care about wealth, money, ratings. He does not care about the actual values of these. He's rich regardless. He has enough money to change the world. He has generational wealth. All he cares about is building his company. And you're going to notice that with a lot of these entrepreneurs, such as Jeff Bezos and Bill Gates, all they care about is getting their company to the next level. And that's perfectly fine. So back in 2020, there was an estimate that put CZ at $8 billion. And he was on par with FTX CEO Sam Bankman-Fried, who had around $8.5–9 billion at the time, and Coinbase's Brian Armstrong, which was around $11.5 billion. And currently, Brian Armstrong is worth anywhere from $14.5 to $15 billion. Of course, again, these values constantly change. The reason with Coinbase being such a large company that Brian only has $14–15 billion is because he has unfortunately sold, or fortunately for him, because he's rich either way, he doesn't care. He has sold a fair amount of his shares in order to have Series A, Series B, Series C funding. So investors have a lot of Coinbase, where in China things work a little bit differently. Sure, you still have investment seed rounds, but there's going to be a lot of businesses where usually, like just look at Alibaba, for example, usually the CEO is going to own a large chunk of that business. So with that said, whether CZ is worth 10 billion or 100 billion, one other thing to factor in is Bloomberg said this did not factor in his personal assets. It's just based off of the assumptions of how much company stock he owns, which of course, if you're a cryptocurrency exchange owner, you're going to have your own crypto assets, whether that's Bitcoin or in this case, probably has a fair amount of BNB. Well, I mean, he should because he believes in it. It's possible he has a couple billion more. He has probably some fancy houses, cars, paintings, whatever, fancy wines, who knows. But regardless, we're going to have a lot more crypto billionaires that in the future are going to be on the same levels as Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, Bill Gates, all Mark Zuckerberg, all of these guys. Pretty exciting stuff. So thanks for watching. Have a great rest of your day. See you guys tomorrow.